The arrival of the alien armada. The stars shone brightly in the night sky, as they always did. To the people of Earth, it was just another peaceful evening. Families gathered around dinner tables, children played in parks, and the world seemed calm. Little did they know, high above their heads, something was moving through the darkness of space, something terrifying and unstoppable. The alien armada. The Galactic Imperium, an empire that had conquered countless planets across the galaxy, had set its sights on Earth. They had heard of humans, a species that had barely ventured beyond their own solar system, and the Imperium believed Earth would be an easy conquest. After all, no planet had ever survived the wrath of the Imperium. Their fleet was massive, composed of thousands of battle-ready ships, each more powerful than the last. As the alien fleet approached Earth, their flagship, Dominus, led the charge. It was a behemoth, larger than any human city, armed with enough firepower to wipe out a planet in minutes. Inside the ship's command center, General Varrock stood tall. He was a battle-hardened warrior with deep scars on his face, a testament to his many victories. "Humans will kneel before us," Varrock said, his voice cold and calculating. His piercing red eyes scanned the holographic display of Earth. They have no idea what is coming. The fleet moved silently, undetected by Earth's simple satellites and space stations. The Imperium had technology that far surpassed anything humanity had ever seen. They could cloak their ships, making them invisible to human radar. As the armada closed in, Varrock issued a command to his communications officer. "Send the message," he ordered. The officer, a thin and nervous-looking alien, nodded. He pressed a few buttons on the console, and a message was transmitted directly to Earth's global communication systems. Within moments, every screen, radio, and communication device on Earth lit up with a single message. "People of Earth, you have been chosen. The Galactic Imperium demands your immediate surrender. Failure to comply will result in your complete destruction. You have 24 hours to respond." On Earth, panic spread like wildfire. Governments scrambled to understand the situation. Was this some kind of elaborate hoax? Some dismissed it as a prank, while others feared the worst. Within hours, the world's top leaders were in emergency meetings, trying to figure out how to respond. The President of the United Nations Security Council called for a global broadcast. As the world watched, the President appeared on every screen. His face was pale, his hands trembling slightly as he addressed the people. "We have received a message from what appears to be an alien force," he began. "We are doing everything in our power to confirm the authenticity of this communication, but we urge everyone to remain calm." But calm was the last thing on people's minds. Across the globe, chaos erupted. In cities, people flooded the streets, demanding answers. Social media was ablaze with speculation, and conspiracy theories ran wild. Some believed it was the end of the world, while others thought it was a government experiment gone wrong. Meanwhile, in the command center of the Dominus, General Varrock watched the chaos unfold with a smirk on his face. "Fools," he muttered. "They don't stand a chance." Back on Earth, hidden deep underground in a classified military base, a group of high-ranking officials and scientists gathered. They had been monitoring the situation closely. Unlike the general public, they knew the truth. The message was real. Earth was under threat. At the center of the room stood General Marcus Reeve, a grizzled veteran with sharp blue eyes and a no-nonsense attitude. He had been preparing for this day his entire life. Years ago, after an unidentified object had crashed into Earth's atmosphere, the governments of the world had quietly joined forces to develop countermeasures for an alien invasion. Reeve had been put in charge of this secret project. "This is it," Reeve said, his voice calm but firm. "They're finally here." One of the scientists, a young woman named Dr. Emily Carter, looked up from her screen. "General, the fleet is massive. Their technology is far beyond anything we've ever seen. How can we possibly fight them?" Reeve smiled grimly. "We may be outnumbered and outgunned, But we have one advantage they don't know about. We've been preparing for this. We have weapons they could never imagine. Dr. Carter looked skeptical. But can we really defeat them? Reeves' expression hardened. We don't have a choice. If they want to fight, we'll give them one they'll never forget. As the clock ticked down to the aliens' 24-hour deadline, the people of Earth braced themselves for the greatest challenge they had ever faced. The Galactic Imperium believed humanity would surrender without a fight, but they had no idea what humans were truly capable of. The battle for Earth was about to begin. The hidden defense. As the countdown to the alien armada's ultimatum ticked closer to zero, Earth's leadership was in disarray. But deep underground, in a secure military bunker, General Marcus Reeve was preparing for what he knew would be the most important battle in human history. General Reeve stood at the head of a large tactical table, the room dimly lit by the glow of holographic displays. Around him were the top military leaders of the world's most powerful nations, as well as a team of scientists and strategists. Dr. Emily Carter, the brilliant young scientist who had been part of Earth's secret defense program for years, sat close by, analyzing the latest data on the incoming fleet. The alien fleet is now just hours away from entering Earth's atmosphere, Dr. Carter reported, her voice tense but focused. Their ships are huge, unlike anything we've ever encountered. We're not sure how they've cloaked themselves from our satellites until now, but they'll be in full view soon. General Reeve nodded, his face grim but resolute. It doesn't matter how big their ships are. They made one mistake when they sent that message. They gave us time. He turned to the room. For years, we've been preparing for the possibility of an alien threat. Most people don't know this, but there have been strange signals picked up by our deep space probes for decades. That's when we started working on Earth's hidden defense system. And now, we're about to see if it works. Reeve pressed a button on the console in front of him, and the holographic display shifted to reveal a new image. A massive underground facility, hidden deep within the Rocky Mountains. It was a secret base, known only to a few, where humanity's most advanced weaponry had been developed in preparation for this very moment. This is Project Sentinel, Reeve said, his voice steady. A fleet of highly advanced automated drones, armed with cutting-edge weaponry, built to fight off any invasion from space. These drones are equipped with the latest in AI technology, designed to think and act faster than any human pilot. They've been waiting, in standby, for the day we'd need them. The room fell silent as the enormity of the revelation sunk in. Earth, a planet that had seemed hopelessly outgunned by the alien invaders, had an ace up its sleeve. Dr. Carter, who had been one of the leading minds behind Project Sentinel, stepped forward. The drones are ready to be deployed, she said. We've been testing them for years, but they've never faced a real enemy. This will be their first true battle. One of the military commanders, a grizzled general from a European defense coalition, looked skeptical. You're telling me a bunch of robots are going to save us? We've barely even tested them in real combat scenarios. Reeves' expression hardened. These drones are the best shot we have. Our conventional military won't stand a chance against the kind of firepower the Imperium is bringing. But these drones are fast, agile, and fully autonomous. And most importantly, they're expendable. The skepticism in the room faded as the reality of the situation sank in. If Project Sentinel was Earth's only hope, then it had to work. As the preparations continued, the alien fleet moved ever closer. On the surface, the world's major cities were on lockdown. Governments had mobilized their armed forces, not that it would make much of a difference against the technologically superior invaders. Civilians were instructed to take shelter, though many feared that no shelter would be safe from the devastation that was sure to come. Meanwhile, General Varrock, aboard the alien flagship Dominus, watched as Earth's response unfolded. He was pleased to see the planet's leadership scrambling in disarray. The Imperium had never been defeated in battle, and Varrock had no doubt that Earth would fall just like every other planet the Imperium had conquered. They are weak, Varrock said, watching the humans' futile attempts to prepare for the inevitable. Their technology is primitive. They will be crushed under our boots, just like all the others. But as the Dominus and the rest of the alien fleet drew closer to Earth, Varrock noticed something strange. On his ship's sensors, a new signal had appeared, a fleet of small, fast-moving objects rising from the planet's surface. "What is that?" Varrock demanded. The ship's tactical officer quickly checked the readings. "General, it appears to be some kind of unmanned drone fleet. Thousands of them." Varrock's eyes narrowed. He hadn't expected this. "Deploy our fighters," he commanded. "Let's see how these Earth machines fare against the might of the Imperium." Back on Earth, in the underground command center, General Reeve and Dr. Carter watched as the first wave of Sentinel drones was launched. The drones moved swiftly, cutting through the atmosphere like blades of light. Within minutes, they were at the edge of space, engaging the alien fighters head-on. On the tactical screen, the battle played out in real time. Alien fighters swarmed the Sentinel drones, firing lasers and plasma bursts. But the drones were fast, much faster than the Imperium had anticipated. They dodged and weaved through the enemy ranks, returning fire with deadly precision. For the first time, the Imperium's forces were meeting resistance they hadn't expected. The alien fleet, which had been so confident in its superiority, was now facing an enemy that fought back with unexpected ferocity. "They're holding their own," Dr. Carter said, her voice filled with awe as the Sentinel drones tore through the alien fighters. "It's working." But General Reeve knew this was just the beginning. The real battle was yet to come, and Earth's survival depended on what happened next. Humanity's last stand. As the fierce battle raged on in the skies above Earth, the alien armada continued its relentless advance. The Sentinel drones had slowed them down, but they were far from stopping the massive fleet. Earth's cities braced for the worst, as evacuation centers filled with anxious civilians, and the military scrambled to defend their world. In the underground command center, General Reeve and Dr. Carter monitored the battle with growing concern. Though the drones were performing better than anyone had anticipated, the sheer number of alien ships was overwhelming. "The drones are running low on power," Dr. Carter said, staring at the tactical screen. "They weren't designed for a prolonged battle like this." General Reeve clenched his fists. He knew that Earth's defenses were finite. No matter how advanced the drones were, they were still outnumbered by the alien fleet, and it was only a matter of time before the Imperium would break through. "We need more time," Reeve muttered. "But time is the one thing we don't have." Suddenly, a transmission came through the command center speakers. It was a broadcast from the alien flagship, Dominus, led by General Varrock himself. "Humans of Earth," Varrock's voice boomed, cold and menacing. "Your resistance is futile. Surrender now, and perhaps we will show mercy. Continue to defy us, and your world will burn." The room fell silent as the weight of the alien general's threat sank in. The Imperium had given Earth one final chance to submit, but General Reeve knew that surrender was not an option. If they gave in, humanity would become slaves to the alien empire. Their freedom, their very way of life, would be extinguished forever. General Reeve stood tall, addressing the room with steely determination. "We will not surrender. We will fight to the last man, to the last drone, if we have to. We cannot, will not, let them take our home." His words ignited a fire in the hearts of those present. There was no turning back now. Humanity was facing extinction, and they would fight with everything they had left. Dr. Carter's eyes widened as she suddenly remembered something. "General, there's one last option," she said, her voice urgent. "Project Helios." Reeve turned to her, a glimmer of hope in his eyes. "Helios, but that project was never completed." "Not entirely," Dr. Carter admitted, "but the core of the weapon is functional. We could use it." Project Helios was a top-secret initiative that had been developed in the final stages of Earth's defense program. It was a colossal solar weapon designed to harness the power of the sun itself to unleash a devastating energy blast capable of wiping out entire fleets. But it's risky, Dr. Carter warned. The weapon's systems are unstable. If we fire it, we might not be able to control the energy output. There's a chance it could backfire, destroying us along with the enemy. General Reeve considered her words carefully. The risk was astronomical, but so were the stakes. If they didn't do something drastic, Earth would fall to the Imperium. And if they did nothing, there would be no one left to care about the risks. We don't have a choice, Reeve said at last. Prepare Project Helios. Dr. Carter nodded and immediately began coordinating with the technical team to bring the weapon online. Deep beneath the surface of Earth, in a facility hidden from both the public and the alien invaders, the Helios weapon began to stir to life. For now, though, humanity had survived. Against all odds, they had won. But as the smoke cleared and the skies returned to normal, General Reeve couldn't help but wonder, what price had they paid for this victory? Aftermath of the battle. The skies were eerily silent after the alien armada's destruction. The once vibrant lights of Earth's cities had dimmed, leaving the planet in partial darkness. General Reeve stood in the command center, staring at the tactical screen showing the debris of the alien ships floating in space. The Helios weapon had done its job, but at a great cost. Earth was victorious, but the toll weighed heavily on everyone. Dr. Carter was still at her station, her face pale as she checked the system readouts. The Helios weapon had caused significant damage to Earth's infrastructure, plunging entire regions into blackouts. Essential services were crippled, and communication networks were down. They had won the battle, but it seemed like they might lose the peace. We did it, Dr. Carter said, her voice barely above a whisper. But the Helios weapon wasn't meant to be used this way. The power grid is fried in half of the world, and there are going to be widespread consequences. General Reeve nodded, his face hard. We had no choice. It was either that or let the aliens wipe us out. Dr. Carter sighed. I know, but now we've got to pick up the pieces. Emergency teams were already being dispatched to help the affected areas. In the chaos of battle, people had been injured, buildings destroyed, and vital systems overwhelmed. The government declared a state of emergency, mobilizing every available resource to stabilize the situation. But even amid the aftermath, a new challenge emerged. A message from the remnants of the alien fleet was received. While the bulk of the invading forces had been annihilated, some smaller ships had survived the blast, retreating to the far reaches of the solar system. These ships were not merely escaping. They were sending a distress call to their homeworld. General Reeve's eyes narrowed as the message played out in the command center. The alien language was translated into human speech through the computers. Humans, you have won this battle. But know this, our empire will not forget this insult. You have unleashed a power that even you do not understand. Our forces will return, and when they do, there will be no mercy. You will be annihilated. The warning left the room in tense silence. Earth had just survived an overwhelming invasion, but now a much larger retaliation seemed inevitable. We knew this was coming, General Reeve said, his tone calm but resolute. They were never going to stop with one invasion, but now they know what we're capable of. Dr. Carter glanced at him. Do you really think we can stand up to the full force of their empire? We barely survived this attack. We'll have to, Reeve replied, his gaze never leaving the screen. If we don't fight, we'll be wiped out. The command center buzzed with activity as they began planning the next steps. Earth had to prepare for another attack, one that could come at any moment, and with far more devastating power. The Helios weapon had been their ace in the hole, but now that it had been used, the element of surprise was gone. However, the fight wasn't over. Far from it. Dr. Carter suddenly spoke up, her expression thoughtful. We might have another way to defend ourselves. Reeve turned toward her, curiosity piqued. What do you mean? We've been so focused on the Helios weapon. she began. But we've also made breakthroughs in other areas. Cloaking technology, advanced AI, and even gravity manipulation. We were working on them before the invasion. They're not fully operational yet, but with some time. Reeves' mind raced. New technologies could give humanity the edge they needed to stand against the alien empire's next wave. If they could perfect these innovations in time, Earth wouldn't just survive the next attack. They might turn the tables completely. Get the research teams together, Reeve ordered. We're going to need every ounce of ingenuity we have if we're going to prepare for what's coming. As the hours passed, the surviving nations of Earth worked together like never before. With the alien threat still looming, humanity had no choice but to unite. Every scientist, engineer, and strategist on the planet was mobilized to contribute to the new defense effort. Factories were repurposed to build new weapons, defenses, and fleets of drones. The Helios weapon, though dangerous, was repaired and put on standby in case it was needed again. In the days following the battle, Earth's leaders met in secret. They knew that the aliens would return with overwhelming force, but there was hope. They had survived against impossible odds once before. Now, with new technologies and a united planet, they might just stand a chance. The message from the alien empire had been clear. They would not forgive, and they would not forget. But humanity had learned something about itself during the invasion. They were no longer just defending their world. They were fighting for their survival, their future, and their right to exist in a galaxy that had underestimated them. General Reeves stood at the window of the command center, watching the sun rise over the horizon. Earth had survived the first onslaught, and they were about to enter a new chapter, one filled with uncertainty, but also with hope. Let them come, Reeve muttered to himself. We're ready. As Earth rebuilt and prepared for the inevitable return of the alien empire, one thing was certain. Humanity would not go quietly. They had faced the worst, and they had survived. Now they would rise stronger than ever, ready to face whatever the galaxy threw at them. Humanity's counterattack. Earth was no longer the broken world it had been after the alien invasion. In the months following the attack, humanity had pulled together in an unprecedented show of unity and determination. The rebuilding efforts had been swift, and the technological advancements that Dr. Carter had hinted at were now becoming a reality. Cloaking technology, advanced AI, and gravity manipulation. These weren't just theories anymore. Earth's brightest minds had turned them into functional weapons of war. The once divided nations now stood together, bound by a shared goal, to defend humanity from the inevitable retaliation of the alien empire. General Reeves stood in the command center, gazing at the tactical map of the solar system. Tiny dots representing Earth's new fleet dotted the screen, ships equipped with cutting-edge technology, ready to face whatever threat was coming their way. This time, humanity would not wait to be attacked. They would take the fight to the enemy. We're ready, General, Commander Liu said, stepping beside Reeve. She had been one of the key figures in developing the new fleet, and her leadership had been instrumental in turning Earth's scattered forces into a unified armada. Our ships are cloaked, fully armed, and waiting for your orders. Reeve nodded, his jaw tight. And the Helios weapon? It's been upgraded and is fully operational. We can deploy it if needed, Liu confirmed. But we're hoping the new fleet can handle the first wave. The plan was bold, almost reckless. Instead of waiting for the alien empire's fleet to arrive, Earth would strike first, launching a preemptive attack on the enemy's outer colonies. It was a risky move, but after the message from the alien remnants, promising annihilation if Earth didn't submit, it had become clear that humanity couldn't afford to wait. We've identified their nearest forward base, Dr. Carter said, her voice crackling over the comms. She was coordinating the mission from Earth's new orbital station, where she oversaw the deployment of their most advanced technologies. It's not heavily defended, but it will give us a chance to test the fleet's capabilities. Reeve stared at the map for a moment longer, considering the risks. If the attack failed, it would leave Earth vulnerable to immediate retaliation. But if they succeeded, It could buy them enough time to build an even stronger defense, and perhaps send a message to the rest of the galaxy that humanity would not be so easily crushed. "Do it," Reeve said at last. "Send the fleet." In the depths of space, Earth's new fleet moved into action. Dozens of sleek, cloaked ships slipped out of orbit, invisible to both human and alien eyes. These weren't the bulky, outdated vessels that had defended Earth during the first invasion. These were advanced warships, each equipped with AI systems designed to outthink and outmaneuver the enemy. As they approached the alien base, the ships maintained radio silence. The element of surprise was crucial. The aliens had no idea what was coming. On board the lead ship, Captain Rice was calm but alert. She had been one of the most experienced commanders during the initial invasion, and now she was leading Earth's first strike against the alien empire. "We're approaching the target," her tactical officer reported. "No signs of detection." "Good," Rice said, her eyes fixed on the display. "Hold position until we're in optimal range." The alien base was a massive structure, floating in the vacuum of space. It was a hub for trade and military coordination, a key point in the Empire's outer defenses. Taking it out would deal a blow to the aliens' ability to coordinate future attacks on Earth. "Firing solutions ready," the officer said after a tense minute. Reyes gave the order. "Fire." In an instant, Earth's fleet unleashed its full power. Beams of energy, missiles, and advanced kinetic projectiles erupted from the cloaked ships, striking the alien base with devastating precision. Explosions rippled across the structure as systems overloaded and entire sections collapsed into themselves. The aliens had no time to respond. The battle was quick, brutal, and decisive. Within minutes, the alien base was a smoldering wreck, its defenses obliterated, and its communication channels cut off. Reyes allowed herself a small smile. "Target destroyed," she confirmed. "No casualties on our end." Back on Earth, the command center erupted in cheers. It was the first time humanity had struck back, and they had done so with overwhelming success. The alien empire had underestimated them before, but now they would know the truth. Humans were not a species to be trifled with. Reeve allowed himself a brief moment of satisfaction, but his mind was already racing ahead. What's the status of their fleet? Commander Lu's expression darkened as she checked the incoming data. "We've intercepted a distress signal. They've sent a message to their main fleet. They know we're coming." Reeve nodded grimly. "Then we've just set the stage for the real fight." The destruction of the alien base was only the beginning. Humanity had thrown the first punch, but the full force of the Empire would soon be upon them. And this time, the aliens wouldn't be caught off guard. Dr. Carter's voice crackled through the comms again. "We need to be ready for retaliation. They'll send everything they have." "We will be," Reeve replied, his voice steely. "This is our fight now, and we're not backing down." The war with the alien empire had entered a new phase. Earth's fleet had proven its strength, but the true battle was yet to come. The stakes were higher than ever, and the future of humanity hung in the balance. But one thing was certain: humans wouldn't just survive. They would fight, and they would win. The alien empire's retaliation. The atmosphere on Earth was tense, with the entire planet waiting for the inevitable retaliation. While the destruction of the alien base had been a decisive victory, it had only escalated the conflict. The alien empire, enraged by the audacity of humanity's attack, had already mobilized its largest fleet. The countdown to their arrival had begun. In the command center, General Reeve studied the data streaming in. The Empire's ships were massive, larger than anything humanity had ever encountered. The incoming fleet vastly outnumbered Earth's newly built armada. But Reeve wasn't deterred. He knew humanity's survival depended not just on strength, but on cunning. "They'll be here in less than 12 hours, Commander Lu said, her voice grim. "We've picked up their long-range signals. They're preparing to hit us with everything they've got." Reeve nodded. "And we'll be ready for them." Unlike the first invasion, Earth was no longer defenseless. The new fleet, equipped with cutting-edge cloaking technology, advanced weapons, and enhanced AI, was already in position. But this time, the battle wouldn't be fought in space alone. Humanity had planned a multi-layered defense, and it included tactics the aliens couldn't anticipate. How's the planetary defense grid? Reeve asked.